Hey, this is Cami.
And this is Madeline.
And you're listening to the Communities That Convert podcast recap for episode 24. So,
episode 24.
I know, this is exciting. So we found this really cool tool to help us to stream straight into YouTube. And so every week, we're going to bring you a recap of our most recent podcast. And we're really excited about this one, how to reuse, recycle, and repurpose your content. Because I'll tell you what, I don't have time to do all this content. Do you have time to do all this content?
No, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of time. So why not just reuse some of the great stuff you have? I'm really big with that, Cami.
Absolutely. So like if you spend hours and hours, I mean, for me, it takes about 2 hours for me to write a really great blog post. That's about how long it takes me to do the research, to the writing, and put it all together for a really well thought out researched blog post. And so I want to find ways I can reuse that content across social media in ways that, I don't have to recreate that and spend hours and hours and hours. So we have come up with some amazing ways for you to reuse your content, to recycle your content, which is bringing older content back, which I love that too. The ghosts of Christmas past are still around, right?
Totally.
I don't know. I mean, do you reuse and recycle your older content ever?
I do. I'll take maybe an old blog post and revive it, right? I can take that content I've already written. I can go in and update it, refresh it, which does not require as much work. And then I can put it out.
Oh, hey, who is that? Tell us who that is.
That is Max, my awesome dog. I call him my three-legged wonder dog. So he is keeping me safe, as you can hear.
Yes, I love that. So recycling that content and bringing it back, that older content, I think that's a really great idea. I mean, you can completely rework it, or you can put links back from content that's doing really well on your website to newer content. I mean, you can really use that older content a lot to revive your channel, to do whatever. In fact, just the other day, somebody asked me to put together a process for a strategy, for a social media strategy. And I thought, oh my goodness, I've written about this so many times. And so I opened up all of the times I've ever written about it. And I just started pulling bits and pieces together to kind of put the Frankenstein of social media strategies together for a process that we're going to be using for clients. So, I mean, I even used it the other way, away from social media. Yeah.
Right. That's super cool.
Yeah. So the final thing is repurposing your content. And one of the things that both of us, we saw Charlene Johnson talk about this, how to take long form content and chop it up into tiny pieces and use it for a whole month's worth of social media content. And we've had a really awesome time doing just that. Like you can take the photos out, put some captions together. You can take the 5 points that you put in your blog post and put out 5 different social media posts around that. So, I mean, there's a lot of ways you can take that really long form content and chop it up into pieces that can be used for a whole month. Right?
Exactly. Absolutely. One example of this is last year I went to a local radio station, KPFT here in Houston, and I live streamed when I was on there. They had me come on and talk about social media. So I live streamed it. And here's what I did, Cami, is I then took that video and I chopped it up, took the best of and chopped it up, put it into my Instagram. You can put video into Instagram. You can put, not just with stories, but just into Instagram itself, along with your photos. And I also put it into Twitter, into Facebook. So there's so much you can do. Like right now, we're recording this and have content, and we can take, maybe there's a 10-second great one-liner in here that we could take and put across our social media. So always be thinking about ways that you can repurpose existing content.
So we talk about this and a lot more tips in our podcast this week. So we hope that you'll take just a few minutes to go below here. I've put the Yeah, right here in the comments
Right there,
section,
right there.
we've put the direct link to that podcast episode. You can also look to communitiesthatconvert.com and you'll get our latest episode no matter when you see this video. You'll get whatever it is we've done that week. You can also search for this there and anywhere you listen to podcasts. So can you tell them all the places? Oh, you're so
Oh my gosh, we are all over the place. I'm so thrilled that not only are we in iTunes and Google Play, so iTunes for iPhones or that now they call it Apple Podcasts, and we're in Google Play for Androids, but we're also in iHeartRadio, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and we just got into Spotify. So, if you love listening to music in Spotify, you can get our podcast over there as well.
Right. And next month also on Facebook, if you want to follow us there, Communities That Convert, we have a Facebook page. We're also going to be at the Social Media Breakfast of Houston talking about how to start your own podcast because podcasting is hot. Like a quarter of all people have listened to a podcast, Americans. In that case, not all people, I guess, but Americans have listened to a podcast in the last year. That's a lot of people.
That's a lot of people. Yep.
So, and we're moving out into the world too, because we've been doing really great